Allison Sands, an FBI agent, testified that an FBI communication to launch this whole thing indicated that the information about Trump Russia came from the DOJ. Here's what that communication said. On or about September 19, 2016, FBI received a referral of information from the U.S. Department of Justice detailing an unusually configured email server in Pennsylvania belonging to the Trump Organization. In that referral, the Department of Justice provided the FBI with a white paper that was produced by an anonymous third party. According to the white paper, a U.S.-based server that's owned by the Trump Organization has been communicating with the Russian-based Alfa Bank organization in Moscow, Russia. That information didn't come from the DOJ.
Right.
It came from Sussmann, attached to the Hillary Clinton campaign.
Exactly. You know, this trial is not only bringing up, obviously, the question of whether Sussmann lied to the FBI, which is why the trial is going on, but it's the issue of the unethical and corrupt behavior that was going on at the FBI during that election. So Sussmann was being oddly protected by FBI brass while they were telling agents to investigate this, open up a counterintelligence investigation within days of the so-called white paper that came from DOJ, which really came from Sussmann, to go all in on the Trump campaign as a result of these allegations. And further, when you look at the statements that were being made at the time by the Clinton campaign, and then you go back to the text messages that you saw from counterintelligence agents like Peter Strzok, for example, and Lisa Page, saying Trump must be stopped, saying they had political ambitions to use the FBI to stop his election. Fast forward to November when this information is being pushed, covered up by the brass at the FBI, it all came full circle, and they were absolutely happy to continue it. And then one of the worst parts about this is, and there's a lot to choose from, is that the FBI looked at it, found nothing to be true, and yet continued forward with it. James Comey, who became the director of the FBI, and went to have that meeting with Donald Trump at Trump Tower. He went to the White House. That all escalated into a special counsel investigation, and it just shows how important it has been that John Durham has been a special investigation on this, because we would never know the details of the corruption and how deep it goes at the FBI.
So do you think that there are any implications here for former Obama administration staffers?
Well, former Obama staffers or officials, let's talk about Biden administration officials. If you go back to the timeline here of November 1st, 2016, it was Jake Sullivan, who was Hillary Clinton's national security advisor on the campaign, released this lengthy statement saying that journalists have found this new information, when it was the Clinton campaign that gave the journalists this information, hoping that they would disseminate it, hoping an FBI investigation would get launched to attack the Trump campaign. He is now President Joe Biden's national security advisor, in charge of the national security and giving the president information. So if he was pushing this false narrative, knowing that it was coming from the Clinton campaign, that the FBI was possibly going to open up an investigation on this, how can he be trusted with matters of national security for the country?
And certainly Hillary Clinton was championing it as well. And you know, here's how you connect the dots. Hillary Clinton, at a meeting, said, yeah, okay, dish this to Slate, right, which was first to publish it, and then tweeted the Slate article saying computer scientists have apparently uncovered a covert server linking the Trump Organization to a Russian-based bank. So she okays giving the information to Slate and then does an, oh my goodness, can you believe this tweet?
Right. Well, and the Clinton campaign has kind of acted like, well, we got this information, we were very concerned. This trial is showing more and more, and we know a lot about this through the investigative work of reporters who have been willing to look at this over the last couple of years, that this was not just a one-off situation. This was a very planned operation from the Clinton campaign to the FBI. The FBI was covering for Sussmann, and he had a badge to the building, even though he was working at a private law firm and for the Clinton campaign. So it brings up all kinds of other questions, but it certainly just shows how deep the rot was and possibly still is, given a lot of these people are working in government and have been promoted, like Jake Sullivan, is at the FBI.
It's a very big onion with a lot of layers. No question.
It doesn't smell very good.
Katie, good to see you today.
Good to see you, John.
Thank you.